Environmental ethics is a discipline in philosophy that studies the moral relationship of human beings to and also the value and moral status of the environment and its non-human contents. Under these ethics, we have obligations in respect to the environment or entities within the environment themselves. Since many of the concerns we have regarding the environment appear to be concerns precisely because of the way they affect human beings. For example, pollution diminishes our health, resources depletion threatens our standards of living, climate change puts our home at risk, the reduction of biodiversity results in loss of potential medicines, and the eradication of wilderness means we lose a source of awe and beauty. Quite simply then, we possess obligation to respect the environment for the sake of human well-being and prosperity.
Environmental ethics not only apply to one group of people or one specific society. We will look at environmental ethics according to Hindus, Buddhism, and Shintos. The Hindus have a similar attitude to nature similar to that of Buddhists. None of their traditions give Hindus the sort of authority over nature and creation that the Judeo-Christian God grants. In Hinduism, there is a sympathetic identification of humanity with nature. Hinduism speaks of harmony with nature and with the whole creation. The real meaning of nature worship in the Vedas is the prosperity of agriculture and the protection of the environment. There are several mantras devoted to agriculture and methods of farming, irrigation systems, and plantations. Domestic animals were considered faithful friends of human beings. The cow was revered as a pastoral deity. Note that the Hindus are expected to regard deer, camels, monkeys, donkeys, rats, reptiles, birds, and flies as though they were their own children. Most of the Hindu population lives within self-sustaining villages. As the population increases and as the modern lifestyle leads to a demand for consumer goods, the balance of sustainability may shatter. So may traditional views and beliefs. The Buddhism strictly limits itself to the delineation of a way of life design and eradicate human suffering. Environmental population is a problem of a modern age, unheard and unsuspected during the time of Buddha. According to Buddhism, changeability is one of the perennial principles of nature. Everything changes in nature and nothing remains static. Though change is inherent in nature, Buddhism believes that natural processes are affected by the morals of man. Buddhism believes that though change is a factor inherent in nature, man's moral deterioration accelerates the process of change and brings about changes which are adverse to human well-being and happiness. If one takes things from nature which are required by future generations, this might well be seen as taking the not given. Consuming beyond one's own immediate needs, taking resources, and later generation will need life that was in harmony and united with nature. Mountains, peaks, deep valleys, and the wide ocean were viewed as dwelling for the divine, and the other natural objects such as evergreen trees and huge rocks were considered to be symbols of divine spirits.
Within the urban society, what we do in terms of protecting the environment is that we do protected areas management. The country itself has 95 protected areas, and the League Urban Society manages 7 of these protected areas. At these sites, we have different things happening, but the aim of having protected areas is to conserve and to preserve the natural resources found within these areas. There are different laws that govern these areas in terms of how you can use the areas. You can't go fish, you cannot go and hunt in these areas. And the work of the Youth Audubon Society is extensive and has been in existence for over 40 years. Along with doing protected areas in terms of conservation, we also do environmental education, which is coming to schools and different areas and giving different talks about how people can become involved in protecting the environment. We do research. There is ongoing jaguar research. There is ongoing bird research. There is ongoing.
If in our generation we exploit every available thing such as the trees, water, mineral resources or anything without bothering about the next generation, about the future, that's our guilt. So if we have a genuine sense of universal responsibility as the central motivation and principle, then from that direction our relations with our environment will be well balanced. Similarly, with every aspect of relationship, our relations with our neighbors, our family neighbors, our country neighbors will be balanced from that direction. So when you say environment, our preservation of environment, it is related to many things. Ultimately, the decisions must come from the human heart. Isn't that right? So I think the key point is genuine sense of universal responsibility, which is based on love, compassion, and clear awareness. We must work to engage everyone in environmental decisions, regardless of demographics, and realize that the health of all humans is inherently linked to the health of our environment. We're all in this together, and perhaps the most thing the hippies taught us is that the easiest way to build a movement is to make it look fun.